Chapter 10.12, Traffic Control Regulations, Section 10.12.060, Schedules 8-B, 8-C, and 8-D, Loading Zones regarding Church Street and Patterson Street. Number 2, we have an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10.20, Handicap Parking, Section 10.20.010, Schedule 39, Parking Zones for Handicapped Persons, to add 261 Townsend Street, 177 Lawrence Street, and 278 Sanford Street. Number 3, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10.20, Handicap Parking, Sections 10.20.010, Schedule 39, Parking Zones for Handicapped Persons, to delete 45 Juliet and add 45 Juliet Street. Then we have ordinances on first reading. Number 1, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10.16, Stopping, Standing, or Parking, Section 10.16.020, Schedule 24, no parking at any time at Hiddelbrand Way. Number 2, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10.16, Stopping, Standing, and Parking, Sections 10.16.060, Schedule 36, Special Parking Districts regarding John Street. And then we have resolutions 1 through 39, except for G30, that's been pulled at the request of the Director of Engineering. And so number 1 is approve agenda amendments. Number 2, approve payroll. Number 3, authorize refund for redeemed tax sale certificates. Number 4, approve release of performance guarantee / escrow deposit to Rose Paving LLC for the amount of $35,164.05. Number 5, approve professional service agreement with Power DMS Incorporated for Power Suite subscription for the police department, period of 12 months, for a period of June 1st, 2025, ending February 22 of 26, not to exceed $10,456.49. 6, approve award of contract to furnish and deliver work uniforms for public works, water utility, public property, parks and shade trees with Smart Stitch Incorporated, period of 12 months, not to exceed $85,730. Number 7, approve amendment of resolution R-122434 for an additional amount of $7,500 to Garden State Veterinary Services for after-hours emergency veterinarian services for a term of 12 months, not to exceed $7,500. Number 8, approve award of contract with Absolute Fire Protection Company for fire engine pump repair services for a term of 12 months, not to exceed $10,000. Number 9, approve award of contract to furnish and deliver repair clamps and accessories for the water utility with Raritan Group Incorporated, doing business as Raritan Pipe Supply, Raritan Valve and Automation, for a period of 12 months, not to exceed $45,000. Number 10, authorized purchase by Parks and Shade Trees under New Jersey contract number 24-3-013122/T2-100 for vehicles, trucks, Class 2 pickup utility with snowplow options from Choka, there you go. Choka, FML doing business at Choka Ford Lincoln for 2025 Ford F-250 regular cab with options, not to exceed $115,768.56. Number 12, approve award of contract with 72 Hour LLC, doing business as National Auto Fleet Group, Chevrolet of Watsonville for 2025 Ford F-150s, not to exceed $94,984.20. 13, approve amendment of resolution R-032556 for additional amount of $6,000 for the Department of Public Works with Campbell Freightliner LLC for truck and equipment replacement parts not to exceed $6,000. 14, approve authorization to advertise to furnish and deliver water monitoring cyanotoxin, thank you, cyanotoxin, I just lost my place. Thank you. Cyanotoxic testing kits. Number 15, approve amendment of resolution R-122457 for change order number 1 in the amount of $84,680, and change order number 2 for $6,700 with Sandra Nunez doing business as DeMar Contracting for Jones Ave and Delavan Street water system improvements. Number 16, authorize refund to Angelina Balbuena Flores for 2025 taxes on several properties. Number 17, resolution providing authorization and approval for installation of accent lighting on city trees along George Street in Monument Square Park for the dates of May 22nd through December 31st, 2025. 18, approve request for use of city sidewalk requested by New Brunswick City Market for the Stuart Johnson exhibition. This will be placed throughout the city's center district for the dates of June 1st, 2025 through November 7th, 2025. 19, approve request for use of city property and closure of streets requested by the Veterans Alliance of Raritan Valley Incorporated for the Memorial Day Parade with ceremony at Monument Park. This includes the Monument Square Park and street closures on George Street from Livingston Ave to Albany and Albany to George Street through Highland Park. For Monday, May 26, 2025, 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. 20, approve request for use of city property requested by the New Brunswick Board of Education for Unified Game Day for preschoolers at Alex Jennings Archibald Park for Wednesday, May 28th, 2025, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. 21, approve request for use of city property requested by National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution at Bugalo Park for the British Bar Leaving celebration for Saturday, June 14, 2025, 9 to 4. 22, approve request for street closing by the American Hungarian Foundation for the 48th Annual Hungarian Festival. Locations of the streets to be closed are parts of Somerset Street, Plum Street, and Harvey Street for Saturday, June 7th, 2025, from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Police extra duty included. 23, approve request for use of city property requested by Pathways Middle School's New Brunswick Board of Education for a field day at the Youth Sports Complex for Monday, June 16th, 2025, with a rain date of June 18th, 2025, from 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. 24, approve request of use of city property requested by Marietta Ogletree, location at Boyd Park for a wedding celebration that's set for Saturday, August 9th, with a rain date of Saturday, September 6th, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. 25, approve request for use of city property, street closure, and use of city sidewalk requested by the New Brunswick Board of Education for 8th grade graduation, including Memorial Stadium and parts of Joyce Kilmer Ave, and the sidewalk of Joyce Kilmer Ave for Wednesday, June 18th, 2025, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. 26, approve request for use of city property requested by Week of the People for their Exit 9 Music Fest at Boyd Park for Saturday, July 26, 25, with a rain date of Sunday, July 27. Time to be 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. with police extra duty. 27, approve request for street closure requested by the New Brunswick Cultural Center for the Juneteenth Parade. Street closures for the parade route from George Street to Remsen down to Sanford, left onto Pine, and then ending at Recreation Park for Saturday, June 21st, 2025, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. 28, Resolution amending R-052538 to memorialize all change orders and to verify final amount of project for the Jules Lane Water System and roadway improvements with Sugar Services Incorporated. 29, approve amendment of resolution R-042541, change order number 2 with A-Tech Concrete Company Incorporated for construction at Nielsen Street Park for the amount of $18,219.45. 30, was pulled at the request of the Director of Engineering. 31, authorized share service agreement with the City of New Brunswick and the Borough of Spotswood for animal control services provided by the City of New Brunswick for a period of starting January 1st, 2025, ending December 31st, 2025, not to exceed $1,210 per month plus $85 per hour for after-hour calls, non-public. 32, authorized shared services agreement with the City of New Brunswick and the Township of East Brunswick for animal control and shelter services provided by the City of New Brunswick for a term of 24 months, not to exceed $3,600 per month from May of 2025 to April of 2026, and then $3,900 per month from May of 26 to April 30th of 2027, non-part-time. 33, approve authorization to advertise for a standby generator control system modification. 34, approve request for use of city property requested by the New Brunswick Board of Education for the McKinley Community School Field Day at Alex Jennings Archibald Park for Tuesday, May 27, 2025, rain date Tuesday, June 10, 2025, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. 35, authorized purchase by Youth Services under New Jersey State Approved Co-op number 65, MCESCCPS, the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey pricing system from Nielsen of Morristown, doing business as Nielsen Chrysler Dodge Ram for 1/2025 for escape with options not to exceed $28,805.90. 36, approve amendment of resolution R-062409 for an additional amount of $15,000 with McManaman, Scotland and Bauman LLC for legal counsel services for representation of the city and the city planning board in the matter of the Association of Concerned Citizens of New Brunswick not to exceed $15,000. 37, approve amendment of resolution R-022507 for an additional amount of $1,578.70 to pay final bill with Dwyer, O'Connell, and Lesbona LLP for representation in the matter of Bright versus Hobeck and all. 38, resolution requesting permission for the dedication by a rider for a tree replacement fund. 39, amend City of New Brunswick 2025 municipal budget introduction today, May 21st, 2025, with a public hearing on Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. Then we have items for discussion by council, followed by public comment, dates to remember, city council agenda review session for Wednesday, June 4th, 2025 at 5 p.m., immediately followed by the city council meeting. Can we call the meeting to order, please?
Councilmember Escobar. Here. Councilmember Ferguson is absent. Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Councilmember Gaskin.
Here.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Here.
Council Vice President Castañeda.
Here.
Council President Anderson is absent.
Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have been complied with and satisfied in that the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all public meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of New Brunswick, has been filed with the city clerk, has been placed on an appropriate bulletin board of City Hall, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Take this moment at this time to recognize that it's National Mental Health Awareness and Physical Fitness and Sports Month, to remind us all of the importance of our overall health and mental well-being. So make sure to take time to practice some self-care. And as we get ready to welcome the unofficial start to summer, this Memorial Day weekend, let us not lose sight of the significance of Memorial Day by recognizing the courage of all the men and women of our armed forces who pay the ultimate price for keeping our country safe and protecting our rights and freedoms. Let us honor them, not just by remembering them, but by doing our part to ensure their sacrifices were not in vain. Thank you.
Motion to move the minutes. Second. Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskin. Yes. Councilmember Secor Ludwig. Yes. Council Vice President Castaneda.
Yes. Madam Clerk, has the correspondence been directed to the appropriate departments?
Yes, Council Vice President, the correspondence received by the City Clerk's office was forwarded to the appropriate departments for further action.
Thank you. All right, now we're going to move into public hearings. At this time, this is the time fixed for the public hearing for the 2025 municipal budget. The budget was approved by the governing body on April 16, 2025, was advertised as required. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead. You should have told me, push me. I just started reading. All right, here we
Council
go.
Vice President, this is the time fixed for the public hearing on the 2025 municipal budget. The budget was approved by the governing body on April 16, 2025, was advertised as required by law on May 7, 2025, together with notice of the hearing for this time. Printed copies have been made available to the public during the past week and is available on our city website.
Great, thank you. Anyone who's not secured a copy of the budget may do so now. They're outside. At this time, I will ask the clerk to read the resolution R-052500A by title only.
R-052500A by the Municipal Council, whereas NJSA 48:4-8 as amended provides that the budget as advertised shall be read in full at the public hearing, or that it may be read by its title if, 1, at least 1 week prior to the date of the hearing and at the date of the hearing, a complete copy of the approved budget, A, shall be made available for public inspection, and B, shall be made available for each person upon request, and now therefore be it resolved by the City of New Brunswick, by the New Brunswick City Council, that it is hereby declared that the conditions of NJSA 48:4-8 as amended set forth in subsections 1A and 1B have been met, and therefore the budget for the year of 2025 shall be read by title only. Be it further resolved that certified copies of this resolution shall be sent by the city clerk to the city administrator and chief financial officer.
Thank you. We are preparing to open the public hearing on the resolution regarding the reading of the budget by title only. For up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. If any members of the public wish to speak on this resolution, you can approach the council. Remember that this is just strictly on the title reading. You'll have an opportunity to speak on the budget afterwards.
I offer the foregoing resolution and move its adoption. Second.
We would open up the public for public hearing if anyone wishes to speak on it.
Yeah.
If there's somebody that
Anybody want to come up? Seeing none, I'll close.
I offer the foregoing resolution and move its adoption.
Second.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskin.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Castaneda.
Yes. Next, we have the public hearing on the 2025 municipal budget. Before I open this hearing, Mr. Drulis, if you can give just a brief synopsis and overview of what we're going to be doing from this point on.
Council Vice President, members of the council, it's my pleasure. Thank you. On behalf of Mayor Cahill and his administration, it's my pleasure to present the City of New Brunswick's proposed 2025 municipal budget, which totals $112,534,266 expenditures, supported by a tax levy of $41,124,051. This budget reflects our continued commitment to delivering the high-quality services our residents expect and deserve, while remaining in full compliance with both appropriation and levy tax requirements. Despite increased financial pressures, we've been able to maintain a stable fiscal foundation through careful planning and strategic investment. Our efforts are bolstered by nearly $11 million in grant funding across 2024 and 2025, that directly supports the city's operations and capital improvement projects, ultimately reducing the burden for local taxpayers. The 2025 budget prioritizes public safety with the funding of 15 new police officers. One of these officers is already on patrol, 5 are currently in the police academy and are expected to join our patrols this summer, and 9 additional recruits are scheduled to begin police academy training in August. Additionally, 5 new firefighters will be hired to fill vacancies created through attrition, ensuring that our police and fire departments remain fully equipped to serve and protect. Investing in infrastructure and quality of life improvements remains central to our vision for a vibrant and thriving Brunswick. A key part of this effort is our continued commitment to the Parks Improvement Program, which includes a reimagining of Murphy Park. Public input sessions for the project will soon begin, and design reveal will be planned for the end of this year. Meanwhile, construction is progressing nicely on Liberty Square Park in the heart of our downtown, with a grand opening targeted for this fall. The complete renovation of allocated 8-acre park is slated to begin this fall and to be finished in 2026 in the summer. Together, these two parks represent major projects and are supported by more than $4 million in federal and state grant funding. Additional enhancements are also on the way in several other parks. Alex Jennings Archibald Park will receive upgrades to its tennis and basketball courts, along with the addition of a new skateboard area. Bucco Park will benefit from the installation of a new pickleball court, as well as improvements to the tennis courts, gazebo, and restrooms. Work on both parks is scheduled to begin early this summer and be completed by September. Beginning next month, new playground equipment will be installed at Simplex Park and Costa Park, with installations expected to be completed at the beginning of the summer. Beyond parks, we're making long-term improvements in critical public facilities. These include renovations at New Brunswick Senior Resource Center, restoration work at the historic Joyce Kilmer House, and interior upgrades including HVAC and elevator improvements at the New Brunswick Free Public Library. We're also continuing our commitment to renewing the infrastructure beneath our streets. Nearly 2 miles of water mains are replaced in neighborhoods such as Rutgers Village, Lee Avenue, Lewis Street, Jersey Avenue, and Bradford Gardens. As these upgrades are made, we'll take the opportunity to identify and replace unknown connections or pipes within our water distribution system that may contain lead. Each of these roadway segments, including roads that underwent utility work last year, will be repaved following completion. Our water treatment plant is advancing to phase 2 of its upgrade in 2025, alongside additional improvements to key support infrastructure, including dams, pump houses, and the replacement of Van Dyke water tower. On the surface, our road repaving program will move forward with improvements scheduled for Brookside Avenue, Carpenter Road, Duke Street, Maple Street, Freeman Street, Bethany Street, Reed Street, Redmond Street, Delfield Street, Howard Street, Juliet, and Richard Street. Building on our efforts to address flooding, the city's newly established stormwater utility is already showing results. Over the past year, we have made substantial progress in improving waterway quality, reducing flood impacts, and developing long-term solutions. In 2025, the utility will fund the creation of a comprehensive capital improvement master plan. Additionally, a separate study has been commissioned to better understand flood-prone areas and develop mitigation strategies. Thanks to the state's iBank Principal Forgiveness Program, the city will be able to purchase specialized equipment to help keep our streets clear of litter, which contributes to flooding, and a new vacuum truck to flush our stormwater system to ensure they operate efficiently. As a friendly reminder, it's all of our responsibility to keep our communities clean. Littering damages our neighborhoods, our environments, our quality of life. Let's all work together to keep our cities clean. The city's finances are once again bolstered by revitalization efforts rather than taxes. Recent development activities have led to $28,733,400 increase in the city's total net assessed valuation of taxable property. To support these critical services and investments, the proposed budget includes a modest tax rate increase of 3 cents, which equates to an annual increase of $91 for the average property owner, with the property assessed at $264,162. The public hearing of the 2025 budget will commence this evening as planned. However, the state is still in the process of its annual review, so the final adoption will now be moved to the June 4th council meeting. Thank you very much.
Before opening this hearing, I wish to outline the procedure. Each person desiring to be heard may do so for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up, addressing all questions to myself, Where necessary, they will be referred to individual members of the governing body or municipal officials. Questions must be confined solely to the municipal budget before us. School and county matters are not proper subjects of this hearing and cannot be discussed or answered here tonight. I now declare open the public hearing for the 2025 municipal budget as introduced at the April 16, 2025 council meeting.
Good evening, Charlie Cradaville, live at 143 Sedan Street. I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today. I'll start by pointing out what I believe is an error on the sheet A. So where it says term expires, this is related to all of you.
We
Ms.
know.
Gaskins and Ms. Escobar, you're correct.
We're aware, and it's going to be edited.
Okay.
It's edited online now, so.
Okay. Just it's got the wrong dates for 5 and 7.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. Can I ask about the utilities? And if any of them are going to have an anticipated surplus?
Mr. Lewis or Mr. Moran, is there any?
I'll defer to Mr. Mulrein.
I would say it's probably too early in the year to determine if there will be a surplus. There has been in the past year, but as of now, I can't comment on whether there will definitely be one for this year as well.
Okay, well, is it anticipated in the budget or no?
I think there's a small portion in one of the utility funds, not both though. I think it's in the sewer fund.
Okay. I also see salaries and wages for all 3 utilities. You've got the stormwater now as well as the water and sewer. Are those employees all employees that work in the water utility, or are some of those salaries coming from Department of Administration or the mayor's office, and they're being applied partially to the utilities?
Mr. Lewis?
All the employees within the budget are rationalized due to the work they do. So to Mr. Craddock's question, yes, all the employees of the water utility are employees of the water utility. And there are costs associated to the current fund that the utilities reimburse.
And that's under salaries and wages? Or
Could be.
could be, okay. So I guess, who are those other employees? They're in mayor's office and administration department, other departments? Am I right about the first 2?
Mr. Lewis, is there any comments other than what?
I think I explained it clearly. That's what I said.
Okay, I'm not clear on that. So, I think he said that certain reimbursements are made. So who is reimbursing who?
Mr. Lewis?
These are cost allocations.
Okay. Okay, and the question still stands. Who is reimbursing who?
It depends where the cost center is and where the services are performed.
Okay, so what I'm getting at here is that there are employees that don't work for the water utility, but part of their salary is being put into the water utility budget, or the sewer utility budget, or the stormwater utility budget. Am I correct in that assessment?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I guess the only other thing I wanted to ask about was the payments in lieu of taxes. So I see it's up to 15 million in the sort of, private sector redevelopment pilots. Can anybody tell me if the audited financial statements from those developers are being checked by the city to make sure that the pilot payments are the amount that they're supposed to be?
They are being checked.
All of them?
All
All. Okay, well, great. I'm glad to hear that. That's how it should always be done. That's all I have on the budget. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just gonna go over this because I'm a little bit shorter. April Nicholas, 143 Sedan Street, New Brunswick. I want to thank Mr. Willis for the comprehensive review ahead of time because I answered some of the questions that I had. I do want to just check back discussed at the previous meeting with regards to the use of the opioid settlement funds. Can you just clarify what departments are in the budget that's reflected?
I'd have to check my notes from the last meeting, I'm sorry, I don't have it handy, but whatever I said in the last meeting, is still the same.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I imagine probably one of those places is in the community services department budget, and when looking at that, it seemed to me like the overall funding for that department and its subcategories is not too much different this year than last year, so I was just curious what the reasoning was for that, since what we discussed is that there was additional funds being put towards that department's work.
There continues to be expansion of programs in 2025 in comparison to 2024.
Is that, I remember you saying that, and I guess what I'm wondering is I'm not seeing very clearly that the expansion of the programs is reflected in the numbers in the budget.
The budget document provides for total salary wages and total other expenses.
Doesn't go by program.
That's right.
So you wouldn't get that from the plan.
Okay, so I assume that what that means then is that other expenses for the department are reduced for one reason or another, but the allocations for that specific program have increased.
That's correct.
Okay, got it. Thanks for clarifying. And then you did a good review of improvements planned for various parks, both looking back and looking ahead. I'm curious if there's any improvements in the queue for Boyd Park, since that wasn't one of the ones that you mentioned.
Mr. Lewis, are you aware of any?
Boyd Park was not included in the 2025 budget discussion. However, all the parks are under constant plan for all the parks, so we are looking at Boyd Park and the improvements can be made there. We just finished doing Dog Park and Boyd Park in the 2024 budget and other significant improvements.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's a very nice place, and I think has the potential to be quite a bit nicer with a little bit of additional investment. It's a very large park, but a lot of the space is not necessarily used or having any improvements other than a single path that runs through the length of the park. So it's, I think worth considering what additional improvements can be made there. And then we reviewed a number of things related to transportation infrastructure improvements. One thing that I didn't hear mentioned is any plans for bike lane infrastructure. Is that included in some form in plans for this year? Any activity on that?
The city is looking at various DOT programs and where we could see funding for bike lanes. Thank you.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, the public hearing on the 2025 municipal budget is now closed. Observing no further applicants, I will entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskin.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Castellano.
Yes. Resolution is adopted. At this time, we will not be adopting the 2025 municipal budget as stated earlier. Amendments to the budget will be introduced tonight with the public hearing to take place at the June 4th, 2025 council meeting at 5 p.m.
Mr. Council Vice President, I move that the adoption of this budget be postponed to June 4th, 2025 at 5 p.m. pending further review by the Division of Local Government Services and our governing body.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskin.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Castellano.
Yes. Now moving on to ordinances for discussion on second reading. We have an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10.12, Traffic Control Regulations, Sections 10.12.060, Schedule 8B, 8C, and 8D, loading zone regarding Church Street and Patterson Street. Do any of my fellow council members have any questions or comments on this ordinance? Seeing none. We are preparing to open the public hearing on the ordinance only for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. If any members of the public wish to speak on this ordinance, please approach the council.
Good
again, Charlie Cradaville. Can I ask for a basic summary of what this is all about, what's changing and why?
Mr. Delgado, are you here? Yep, there you go.
Yes, Mr. Council President. Nothing had changed, it's just simply those two sections were missed in the original submission for the changes to the original ordinance, that was it. These were just simply two additions.
Okay, so to be clear, we're talking about the recent changes to parking rules in downtown that were made earlier this year?
Mr. Delgado, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So there were some things that were forgotten that are being added through another ordinance now. Does anybody know how they were forgotten or who made the mistake?
I'm assuming that. Is it clerical error? Just clerical?
It's a simple issue. That's all it is.
Okay, yeah, do you know who was responsible?
I think we're good there, Mr. Delgado. It was a mistake, it's being rectified.
That's all it is.
Okay, so my understanding is these changes are to allow for people to be able to pay to park in certain areas that are like, you know, right near the intersection. Is that correct?
Mr. Delgado?
No, that is incorrect. So we're talking about the loading zones actually being made available, okay, for payment. You're absolutely correct. Well, no, you're not correct. So, that's it, that's my answer.
So it's about loading zones. It's pertaining to the loading zones in these two places.
So specifically, if you remember on like First Street, that now there's a signage that allows you to pay via parking mobile in certain loading
right.
zones, it's this.
So it's allowing people to park in the loading zones.
After a certain time, correct?
That is correct, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Isn't there a state law that prevents people from parking in those locations?
No, there is not.
So you can park, you know, 35 feet from the westerly curb line of George Street?
So the loading zones are already approved. So all we're simply doing is allowing people to pay there. In fact, it actually addresses the issue of people parking too close to the corner. When you don't regulate them, okay, when you simply allow people to park there, they park to the corner. When you do regulate them, they can't park to the corner.
Okay. Are there any other municipalities that charge for parking in what is otherwise a loading zone in the state of New
I
Jersey?
couldn't tell you.
I can tell you that, I mean,
Oh, there you go.
yeah, I've seen Elizabeth do it.
Okay, thank you. May I ask how this is working out? Because it's been in place for a few months. Has it improved the situation? I remember one of the reasons for it was that there's a lot of delivery drivers that need to pick up in downtown. Has it made any difference in the problems caused by that?
Yes, it has. And in fact, if you know traffic, you know, one of the rules of traffic is simply improve access, and that has improved access. Okay, regulation.
Great, glad to hear it. And I guess the parts that were forgotten, have they already been implemented? Is there signage already up and they've been sort of following it, they just forgot to put it on the books? Or has it only been partially implemented and now it's going to be fully implemented after this ordinance takes effect?
Mr. Delgado, can you answer that?
It's incredible how how we can actually carve such a simple statement. I don't know, okay? I don't know whether the signs are already there or not. These areas were omitted, okay? So they're going to now be the same rules and signs that we have here, places will be replicated.
I don't understand what's so incredible about somebody asking questions.
On your mate.
All right.
I'm sorry, what?
We're good.
Okay, good.
Direct
Yes,
to me.
so I just want to close up
I get it.
and say thank you for answering the questions that you did answer. And yeah, I hope that we can all work together in good faith and not be oppositional for no reason. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, the public comment on the ordinance is now closed.
Move the ordinance. Second.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskin.
Yes.
Councilmember Sephora Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Castaneda.
Yes. We have ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10, 2020, Handicap Parking, Sections 10.20.010, Schedule 39, parking zones for handicapped persons to add 261 Townsend, 177 Lawrence, and 278 Sanford Street. Do any of my fellow council members have any comments or questions on the ordinance? Seeing none, we are preparing to open the public hearing on the ordinance only for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. If any members of the public wish to speak on this ordinance, please approach the microphone. Seeing none,
Move the ordinance. Second.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskin.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Castaneda.
yes. And we might have an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10.20, Handicap Parking, Section 10.20.010, Schedule 39, Parking Zones for Handicapped Persons, to delete 45 Juliet and add 45 Juliet Street. Do any of my fellow council members have any questions or comments on the ordinance? Seeing none, I do. Mr. Delgado, can you just explain why we're adding and deleting the same one? Oh, sorry, Mr.
Council Vice President. Yeah, essentially, the way our law works, specific to individual handicapped parking spaces, they are indexed directly to the placard number on the car. Every so often, 3 or 4 years, I'm not sure what the frequency, the DMV issues new placards, so we're deleting the same location, we're just deleting the old placard number and adding the new placard number.
Thank you.
You got it.
All right, we are preparing to open the public hearing on the ordinance only for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. If any members of the public wish to speak on this ordinance, please approach the council. Seeing none, the public comment of the ordinance is now closed.
Move the ordinance. Second.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskin.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Castaneda.
Yes. We're moving to ordinances on first reading. We have one, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10.16, Stopping, Standing, and Parking, Sections 10.16.020, Schedule 24, no parking at any time at Hildebrand Way.
I move the ordinance setting down June 4th, 2025 at 5 p.m., same date to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskin.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Castaneda.
Yes. 2, we have an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10.16, Stopping, Standing, and Parking, Sections 10.16.160, Schedule 36, Special Parking Districts, adding John Street.
I move the ordinance setting down June 4th, 2025 at 5 p.m., same date to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskin.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Castaneda.
Yes. Now we're moving to the resolutions, 1 through 39, except for G30, that was pulled at the request of the Director of Engineering. Any questions or comments from my fellow council members? All right, we're preparing to open up for public comment. Remember, you have up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. Any members wishing to speak on the resolutions only, please approach the mic.
Good evening once again, Charlie Bradfield. Page 7, number 31, ends in 576. This is a shared service agreement with Spotswood for animal control services. It began on January 1st. I understand it's non-pro-tem, but why so long? 4.5 months into the agreement is it now being put for the council's approval?
Mr. Goldberg?
Yes, Council Vice President, this is actually an extension of the 2024 agreement. There was a change in administration in Spotswood which delayed the process for us adopting.
Okay. Thanks. And I see another shared service agreement with East Brunswick. And that's also a continuation?
Council Vice President, no, that is a new contract.
A new one. So now we've got North Brunswick, Spotswood, East Brunswick, and any others I'm forgetting?
That's all we have for
And may I ask how are those shared service arrangements going? It's going well?
Council Vice President, I had a conversation with the East Brunswick administrator just last week, and he was very happy.
Great. I'll move on to the last page, number 36 and 37 are both legal matters. Can I get an update on these, the matter that McManaman is representing the planning board in? Have those been resolved? Has the order blocking this council from selling the city's land been lifted, or is that still in effect?
Mr. Campbell, any comment at this point?
I have no comment on this.
No comment.
So we don't know if the cases are active or if they've been resolved?
I can look into it and let you know next week, but at this point, there's no comment.
Okay. According to the resolution, the city attorney is asking for an additional $15,000, bringing the total for these matters up to $32,500. Can you tell me how much of that has been spent?
No, I can't.
So we don't know how much has been spent, and we don't know if the cases are still active, but the council is being asked to approve an additional $15,000.
The cases are still active, and they're asking because they're asking for money in order to finalize it.
It's billable hours based on whatever agreement the city has with outside counsel on those matters, but yes, they're still active, and this is a response to billing that we receive from them.
Thank you.
Thank you. And may I ask the hourly rate that this law firm is charging?
I don't have that in front of me.
Okay. How about the next one? Can we get an update on the case against the judge and Ms. Gaden, Ms. Milligan?
I have no particular knowledge on this matter, except that I can read on the agenda that it's the final bill, so I'm assuming that it's over.
Right, been resolved. Was it resolved in favor of Mr. Bright or in favor of the defendants, or do we know the outcome?
I do not know that.
Okay. That's all I have on these resolutions. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? No? So the public comment on the resolutions is now closed. Can I get a motion?
Move the resolutions?
Second.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskin.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council Vice President Castaneda.
Yes. And before we move into public comment, there was a question about, concerns, rather questions about a police lieutenant and current court issues. I've contacted the police, and Captain Hoover, do you have at least something that you can share?
Yes, regarding last session's questions, Lieutenant Olst is still employed here. He's still active. His legal matter is still playing out in court, and when it is adjudicated in whatever way, the appropriate discipline will be administered. And depending what that is, it may or may not be subject to public disclosure. So.
Thank you. So we're waiting for due process, and then
Correct.
we'll move from there. Thank you. All right, so moving on to public comment. We're preparing to open the meeting for public comment, up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. If any members of the public wish to speak during the public comment portion of the meeting, please approach the council.
Good evening once again. Charlie Prattville. Mr. Vice President, did you get my text messages?
Not your text messages, no. I got your email, which is why I...
Right, and I appreciate you prompting a response there. I was reaching out to you about something different, but maybe we can speak after the meeting, if that's okay. Great. On the topic of Lieutenant Olds, I'm very concerned about this situation. Lieutenant Olds was, of course, a police lieutenant who was demoted to sergeant for misconduct, and then promoted back to lieutenant, and now he's defendant in a DWI case. He was arrested in Sayreville. That's what I sent you via email, was the police report documenting that arrest. And I'm concerned that a lieutenant is facing these charges. Lieutenant's a supervisory position, right? I don't know how many lieutenants do we have in New Brunswick?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, but suffice to say, each lieutenant supervises about a dozen police officers. Is that fair to say?
Captain Hoover, is that fair to say?
Broad brush terms, sure, but I mean, it could vary.
Right. And so I'm concerned that someone in leadership is setting a bad example, and that it's going to be hard for him to lead while he's facing a DWI charge. I understand that, there's a lot of moving parts here, but the reality is this arrest was over a year ago. And while the matter was only recently transferred from Sagerville Municipal Court to Old Bridge Municipal Court, for what reason I don't know, the city police have internal affairs. And I was under the impression that after Barry DeLoach was killed, that the police were going to start doing their internal affairs investigations in a timely manner, even if there's a criminal case pending, right? The old way was we say, we'll wait till the criminal case concludes and then we'll start doing our internal affairs and administrative discipline if necessary. But that, of course, leaves the person facing the charge in power and in leadership. So can I get some clarity? Is the internal affairs process going to stay paused until this case is resolved in municipal court?
According to Captain Hoover, we're waiting for due process, right? And I am a firm believer in due process. I'm not going to overstep it like a lot of people are doing these days, and so we're not going to comment on anything until due process happens. And then the police, as they stated, will make appropriate decisions based on the outcome of the case. But remember, you're innocent until proven guilty.
Fair enough, but generally speaking, does New Brunswick Police Department pause internal affairs investigations until any criminal matters are resolved?
I mean, to me, it's basic logic. But do you want?
We are bound by policy. We're bound by policy set forth by the prosecutor's office. We're bound by policy set forth by the state. I will not be commenting anything relevant to this particular case. However, Lieutenant Olds is entitled to a criminal due process and he's entitled to administrative due process, and those both have to be carefully balanced. So right now, everything is being done that can legally be done. And when it plays out in court, it'll be handled administratively.
We're in agreement that the lieutenant deserves due process. I think the disagreement comes from whether it has to be in sequence or whether it can be simultaneous.
I think what you heard, Mr. Credible, is the captain say that they're following procedure. I don't think there's much more we can say other than that. And so we'll wait till the outcome.
Maybe there's not much more you can say, but maybe there's something you can say behind the scenes or do. Because if the police said that they were going to start doing these things in simultaneous and they're going back to the old way, I don't think that's
I'm not going to
appropriate
sit here and
either.
argue old way or new way. I'm just simply going to trust in the fact that the police is doing what they have to do. So we can move on from there. Once the case is resolved and we get a report, we can talk about it.
Mr. Julius, were you going to say something?
I think we could add, this is, discussing William matters.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. May I ask about the ethics board? The ethics board has a matter I brought to the ethics board involving the conduct of Councilwoman Sikora Ludwig. And the ethics board has been dysfunctional. They haven't been able to address the matter, and now they're trying to not have to hear the matter and have the state handle it. And the state has pushed back on that. What's the status of the ethics board, and why can't they get it together?
Mike, do we have an update on?
I don't know that Mr. Credibil's characterizations are correct, and his assumptions, I think, are off. I'm sure that when Mr. Shammy is here, or Mr. Kenny's would like to take the lead, can address that, but there were so many inaccuracies what Mr. Credibil said. I don't know, we can leave it in 5 minutes.
Right, so the only thing that I'll leave you with, because your 5 minutes are up, is that I do believe that the ethics committee is following process, and we'll move forward from there.
Okay, if I have to respond, if I could just have 30 seconds.
You're done, my friend. We'll see you next time.
Really? You won't give me 30 seconds
I
to
didn't want to
rebut what Mr. Trula said? He said I was inaccurate. What was inaccurate about what I said?
Again.
What was inaccurate about what I said?
Thank you, Mr. Credible.
It's wrong for you to smear me like that and not give the facts. If you think something I said was wrong, tell everyone what it was. Let us all have the correct information.
Thank you, Mr. Credible.
I'm not hearing anything inaccurate. What I said was accurate. I've been copied on the
I've
letters.
said it 3
And
times.
this ethics board is not doing its
I
job.
said it 3 times.
There's a big
Thank
problem.
you.
I'll see you after the meeting. Thank you.
Hi, April Miles from Police Administrator, New Brunswick. Just a quick relatively simple question with regards to the city parks. I know that, for the winter time, the public restroom facilities in the parks have been closed while it's cold. At what date are those reopened? Are they supposed to be reopened already?
Mr. Valenti, do you have a question, answer that?
Yes, I believe generally mid-May is when they open, if not earlier. It's temperature dependent. We want to ensure there's going to be no freezing possibilities. There's no heat in those restrooms. I believe that currently they are open though. I can double check that, but that's my understanding.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, if you can double check that, great, thank you.
Anyone else? Not, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion. Second.
Councilmember Escobar,
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskin.
Yes.
Councilmember Sikora Lundy. Yes. Council Vice President Castaneda.
Yes, good night everyone, happy Memorial Day